Imagine being a kid for just a moment, and you get to have the most amazing, incredible week of your entire life. That's what Camp Rainbow is. Camp Rainbow provides a safe environment that levels the playing field, regardless of any medical condition you might have. You blast right past it.
Camp began out of a dream to create a safe environment for kids that might not otherwise be able to go to a summer camp. For over 40 years, volunteers have been coming together with the common goals of fostering joy, happiness, laughter, hope, and most of all, unconditional love.
My name's Landon Norris and I'm 11 and a half. I've been coming to camp for 3 years. It's
pretty magical here, huh?
It's like you just get to be free. Like you do whatever you want and you get to be yourself without getting embarrassed.
Because it's so much fun, there's so much stuff to do, and I love arts and crafts and they have so many of them. It's more fun than I expected, and I meet a lot more people than I thought I would.
My favorite part about camp is the laser tag, the pool, and the lake. Done.
My camp aloha pippy ha.
My first time at camp, I was a little nervous, just a little. I would describe it as like a happy place.
Every June, Camp Rainbow descends on Brandon Spring Group Center, located in the Land Between the Lakes National Recreation Area. Approximately 40 kids get the opportunity to partake in this magical 1 week of summer camp.
Brandon Spring is an 800-acre facility, including a 300-acre lake, a swimming pool, an activities building, 8 dorm rooms with 128 beds, and a full cafeteria.
So I think the biggest thing that makes Camp Rainbow unique is that no matter what the child may need, we're able to help them so that they enjoy the activities fully.
So our medical staff here at camp, we have a pediatrician on site. We have 5 registered nurses. We all come from different backgrounds. We have pediatric nurses. Myself, I'm an adult health nurse in the cardiac cath lab at Vanderbilt. One thing about that is we're all parents. We all have our own children, and we treat your children as if they were our own while they're here.
So when the camper arrives at camp, we have an entire process where we will sit down with the parents, run through their medications, and go through any needs that they may have while they're at camp.
But the amazing thing, and one of the beautiful things about camp, is that it's a 1 counselor to 1 camper ratio. So it's not as like at other camps where there's 1 counselor for 6 or 8 kids. I mean, there's 1 person that's looking after that camper. We're not a camp for medically compromised kids. We're a summer camp that just so happens to be capable of handling some pretty complex medical issues that kids have, that parents deal with every day.
So I was 7 when I got diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, and I think I was probably 9 when I first started coming to camp. You know, as a 8 or 9-year-old who had never been to a week-long camp before, I'm sure I was nervous and didn't know what to expect being away from home for that long. After coming, I couldn't, from then on, I couldn't imagine missing out. Like school got out and it wasn't like, oh man, it's summer. It's like, oh man, it's almost Camp Rainbow time.
And I just remember the counselors coming up to me and being like, hey, what's your name? It's cool that you're here, and just making you feel like included and a part of it even before it even began. It was just like pure freedom. It was like whatever you want to do all the time, anytime. Like we're going to the pool, we're going back to the lake, we're going fishing, we're gonna, we're gonna go do arts and crafts and just kind of ping pong around, and my counselor was just there for it. And that was awesome. And then just really, it was also feeling accepted by everyone at camp. That was the coolest part, was there was never any stigma about it. You didn't feel like, odd one out because you had a condition, because everyone here has something going on. Or for the better word, you just felt like there was nothing really going on in your life except for what was going on here. And that was really special, yeah.
And I consider this like a second home for kids, to just be able to help out these kids and just give them the support that they need. I'm doing that same thing you guys did for me way, way back in the day. Woo, boy, dancing's always been a part of me, and I can definitely thank camp for being a big part of me wanting to dance. Because I got to just dance with no worries in the world. Like, now, even though I look crazy sometimes, it's like a growth period for a lot of these kids. You start finding about yourself. You find it more here because you have more opportunities to, just be free and not have to worry about whatever problems you got. So nobody really looks at you any different. Like, yeah, of course, everybody different here. Oh, duh. But at the same time, it's like everyone here is a family. I always considered Camp Rainbow like a fantasy land. For kids like myself and kids that can't really do certain things, like sports, or video games, or just ride bikes. Camp Rainbow gets stuff done here. They make dreams happen.
First year I was here as a little girl, she didn't have any hair, beautiful little girl. And, long story short, she had told her counselor that she was thankful she had cancer, because if she didn't have cancer, she wouldn't be able to come to Camp Rainbow. I was like, wow. Well, everyone's going to struggle with feeling inadequate in some way, and as a parent, that's one of your main roles, is to speak the truth back into them that, like, hey, you are adequate. God did make you exactly the way he wanted you. You're perfectly tall, or you're perfectly short, or you're perfectly blue-eyed or brown-eyed, or perfectly slow or fast, or really good at math or really bad at reading. Like, you're perfectly the way God made you. We have 1 week to breathe truth and hope and happiness and laughter into their life, in hopes that that'll help them remember their adequacy in God's eyes. And I love watching the weight fall off of them, and then they're really just getting to express themselves in their purest way that they can. We are so incredibly blessed to get to provide the Camp Rainbow experience, and we can't wait to see what camp can mean for these kids in the future.